When we arrive at Wat Tham Phra Phothisat in Saraburi province, a strong wind sweeps through the temple grounds, sending the trees into a graceful sway. In Thailand, this signals excellent weather, as the cool breeze creates perfect conditions for hiking, exactly what we are about to do. Surrounded by steep karst formations, the temple is home to several caves, and reaching them means a demanding climb lies ahead. We park our car at the temple's entrance and set off on foot, drawn first towards the stupa rising ahead of us. Standing directly in our path, it feels like a quiet gateway we must pass before the real adventure begins, marking the route towards the mountain trail and caves that await beyond. We have only just begun, yet the scenery is already stunning. The predominantly white stupa stands out beautifully against the natural surroundings, its bright form contrasting with the rugged landscape and hinting at the journey ahead. A golden inscription, topped by a black yang sign, a sacred symbol believed to bring good fortune and often applied by Buddhist monks during inauguration ceremonies, reveals the name of this structure, Sala Dhamma Chedi, which translates to Dhamma Pavilion Pagoda. In a glass-fronted niche stands a dark statue of a yaksha, a class of mythical guardian spirits in Buddhist and Hindu traditions. Yakshas are often portrayed as powerful protectors of sacred places and natural treasures. This one is a yaksha of high rank, indicated by the crown he wears and by the Burmese-style saluway on his chest, a ceremonial set of chains worn over the shoulders and fastened at the chest with an ornamental plaque, usually made from precious metals such as gold or silver, and traditionally used to denote status and rank. He holds a large club with one hand, symbolizing strength and protection, while a book in the other suggests wisdom and the safeguarding of sacred knowledge. In another niche stands a golden Buddha holding 3 lotus flowers. The image lacks the ketumala, the cranial protuberance normally present on Buddha images in Thai iconography, as well as the lotus bud or flame that emerges from it, as a symbol of enlightenment, instead featuring a halo behind the head. The 3 lotuses symbolize purity and enlightenment, while their number refers to the Triratna, the 3 jewels of Buddhism, the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. Yet another niche contains a crowned Buddha, displaying a double abhaya mudra, with both hands raised, a gesture unique to Thailand and Laos, and known as the mudra of restraining the waters. It refers to an episode in which the Buddha is said to have calmed the floodwaters of the Niranjana River in northern India. This gable features a replica of the Dvaravati-period bas-relief found within Phra Phothisat Cave, depicting the preaching Buddha alongside Hindu deities, which we hope to see later. Buddha images along the inner edge of the circular hall depict various scenes from the life of the Buddha. The hall is closed, so we are unable to see all the statues, but the arrangement appears to follow a largely chronological order. The first image shows the pose of resolving to become a monk, symbolizing Prince Siddhartha's resolve to renounce worldly life and embark on the path to enlightenment, while the second depicts the pose of considering food in an alms bowl, representing the moment, 8 days after becoming a monk, when the bodhisattva receives food for the first time from a local ruler. This stele shows the Katha Vathu Sip, the 10 proper topics of discussion taught by the Buddha, guiding monks to engage in speech that fosters moral discipline, mental cultivation, wisdom, and ultimately liberation from suffering. Another stele lists the Chariyasat, the Four Noble Truths, the four fundamental principles taught by the Buddha that form the core of Buddhist doctrine, explaining the nature of existence and the path to liberation. Adjacent to the pagoda, a sacred banyan tree spreads outward like a living cathedral, its vast canopy supported by countless aerial roots that descend from the branches and take hold in the ground below. Over time, these so-called prop roots can thicken and develop into additional trunks, forming an intricate, entangled structure that resembles a small forest grown from a single tree. The name banyan comes from the Gujarati word ban-nia, meaning trader or merchant, referring to Indian merchants who traditionally gathered beneath these trees to conduct business, drawn by the deep shade they provide. In Buddhism, the banyan is known as the tree beneath which the Buddha remained for 7 days after attaining enlightenment, while in Hinduism it is revered as the tree under which Vishnu was born. Further along, we come upon a serene pond, at the center of which rises an artificial island shaped like a floating lotus leaf. Atop it stands a statue of Kuan Yin, on an elevated lotus pedestal. She is the Bodhisattva of compassion in Mahayana Buddhism, revered for her mercy, kindness, and her ability to hear the cries of those in suffering. At the foot of the mountain is a learning center. The information board says, Geological Learning Center of the Phra Phothisat Cave, Saraburi Province. On display is a kind of rock garden, though not in the usual sense. Rather than being purely decorative, it is a garden showcasing samples of various kinds of rocks, along with information about their names, benefits, and origins. Among the specimens on display are a fascinating variety of rocks and minerals, each labeled with its name, origin, and uses. These include basalt, a common volcanic rock, andesite, another type of volcanic rock, granite and diorite, both intrusive igneous rocks formed from slowly cooled magma, limestone, including fossiliferous limestone and sedimentary limestone conglomerates, dolomite, a sedimentary carbonate rock, marble and slate, both metamorphic rocks, schist, a foliated metamorphic rock, sandstone, a sedimentary rock formed from compacted sand, calcite, a mineral commonly found in sedimentary rocks, stibnite, a mineral used as a source of antimony, and petrified wood, fossilized remains of ancient trees turned to stone. This collection provides a rich overview of igneous, sedimentary, and metamorphic rocks, as well as notable minerals, illustrating the geological diversity of the region. The Thai word for geology is Thorani Withaya, with Thorani being the name of the goddess of the earth in Buddhism, while Withaya means knowledge or science, comparable to the Western term logos, meaning word, and used in the study of any subject, literally meaning to speak about. Together, Thorani Withaya can be understood as the knowledge or study of Thorani, much like geology literally means the study of the earth. A short staircase leads up to the next level, where the actual trail begins. On the right side of the path stands a large tree adorned with a colorful pa-pray munkan, strips of synthetic fabric in various colors used in animist worship. These are tied around objects, such as the bow of a boat, or, as here, a tree, to honor or appease Nang Mai, female spirits believed to inhabit trees. In the distance, I spot a long-tailed monkey that has just found some food. At the foot of the staircase leading to the main cave, a detailed map shows the location of the key caverns in the area, accompanied by a larger information board outlining 16 essential points every cave visitor should know before entering. With all this guidance firmly in mind, we feel well equipped and ready to embark on the first leg of our adventure, the steep climb up the mountain. The main cave, Tham Phra Phothisat, sits in the middle of Khao Nam Phu, a limestone hill embraced by forest and mountain scenery. The temple and cave are surrounded on three sides by mountain ranges and dense vegetation, offering lush tropical forest views and panoramic vistas from higher points near the cave entrance. According to the cave system travel guide, the map at the base, the distance from the foot of the staircase to the cave is 136.4 meters, but the stairs are steep and the ascent challenging. The staircase itself, however, is well built and maintained, which should ease the climb somewhat. Painted white, it also features red markings indicating the distance already covered at 50-meter intervals. In the shaded forest edge I spot a pinkish flower that appears to be a species known locally as cayenne, meaning diligent, with the botanical name Pseudoranthemum crenulatum, and sometimes referred to in English as the shrubby false eranthemum. We arrive at a small grotto. At first, we barely noticed it, but reading the information panel and stepping a few paces aside makes it clear. The shallow grotto features a stalactite said to resemble a snake's head. The site is named Eucladiolith, a term derived from Greek meaning stone formed around branches or shoots. This refers to the stalactite hanging from the cave ceiling, formed by dripping calcium carbonate, that gradually built up as mineral accretions around several moss stems. Its structure is shaped both by the moss growing toward the light and by the downward pull of gravity. A short distance along the staircase, a small path branches off to Tham Liang Pa, located about 58 meters southeast of Tham Phra Phothisat. This shallow cave is formed from gray to whitish-gray massive lime mudstone along northwest-southeast fractures, creating a hall that measures 14.12 meters in length and 7.2 meters in depth, with an entrance 14.84 meters wide and 3.95 meters high. During favorable weather conditions, it is used as a site for meditation. Liang Pa Cave is classified as a dry cave, formed through the gradual dissolution of limestone along fractures. While it contains a few speleothems, more complex formations such as columns, flowstone, stalagmites, eucladioliths, coral, and sawtooth flowstone are absent. A large bell perched at the top of the staircase marks the finish line of the climb and the end of our exertion. An information panel confirms that we have reached Tham Phra Phothisat, but first we pause to catch our breath on the welcoming benches, clearly placed here for that very purpose. The cave's entrance remains hidden behind a rocky outcrop, intensifying the anticipation and curiosity of what lies ahead. The cave's entrance is gated but unlocked, yet it is dark, and we need to find the switch to turn on the lights. With the beam of our mobile phone flashlight, we quickly locate the switch and flood the cave with light, revealing the hidden world within. As the cave is illuminated, the full sense of Tham Phra Phothisat emerges, not merely as a geological formation, but as a sanctuary. At its heart stands a small golden stupa, radiating a gentle warmth in contrast to the cool stone surroundings. Nearby, a Dvaravati-period bas-relief is carved directly into the limestone wall, depicting the preaching Buddha flanked by Hindu deities. On the left sits the Buddha, his right hand raised in a teaching gesture while his left hand holds the end of his robe. Beside him is a seated divinity, usually identified as Shiva, with flaring hair and a rosary in his left hand. Next to Shiva stands Vishnu, whose upper hands hold the discus and conch, while the lower hands are crossed in a gesture of respect. Farther to the right, an adorant with a topknot is flanked by two celestial beings. The bas-relief dates from the Dvaravati period, which flourished in what is now central Thailand between the 6th and 11th centuries AD. Dvaravati was not a unified kingdom but a loose collection of city-states, many of them governed by the Mon people, who played a central role in the development of Theravada Buddhism in the region. The art and architecture of Dvaravati reflect a combination of Indian Buddhist influences and local styles. Stone and stucco carvings, such as this cave relief, often feature religious iconography alongside motifs associated with royal authority, emphasizing both spiritual and temporal power. The Tham Phra Phothisat relief is a particularly fine example, illustrating how the Mon people adapted Indian artistic traditions to create sacred spaces that were simultaneously contemplative, devotional, and culturally distinctive. Caves in Thailand have long been associated with hermitage and retreat, serving as secluded spaces for meditation and spiritual practice. Many of these caves are linked to Buddhist traditions, functioning as monastic sites where monks and ascetics engage in contemplation and religious observance. The natural isolation and tranquil environment of these caves have made them ideal locations for such practices, and over time, numerous caves have been adapted or embellished to accommodate Buddhist shrines, statues, and meditation spaces. Dotted throughout the cave are various Buddha statues, each exuding calm dignity. Each statue is said to emit a fraction of the energy of the Enlightened One. The more statues gathered together, or the larger a statue, the stronger the energy emanating from it. The effect is cumulative, as clusters of images amplify the overall intensity of the energy, which extends to anyone nearby. The surface of this stele is carved with a timeless message. The heading reads, Sila Jaruek, Wajarai Praputha Satsana, meaning stone inscription, the heart of Buddhism. The inscription preserves one of the earliest teachings of the Buddha, drawn from the Samyutta Nikaya of the Pali Canon. It tells of the moment when Venerable Assaji, one of the Buddha's first disciples, offered a simple yet profound exposition of the Dhamma to the wandering ascetic Sariputta. In just a few words, Assaji revealed the essence of the Buddha's insight, that all things arise from causes and conditions, and all that arises inevitably ceases. Upon hearing these words, Sariputta experienced a sudden awakening, allowing him to see the nature of reality as it truly is. Whatever exists arises from a cause, it is its nature to arise. All that exists ceases, it is its nature to cease. This brief but powerful teaching captures the very heart of Buddhism, the truth of causality, the reality of impermanence, and the path to freedom from suffering. Tham Phra Phothisat primarily consists of grey to whitish-grey massive lime mudstone, with occasional patches of breccia visible along the walls. The main hall stretches roughly north to south and has been shaped over millennia by water seeping through fractures in the limestone. Geological evidence suggests the cave was once filled with water, leaving behind connected spacious chambers, scalloped walls, dome pits, and karst windows. Rockfalls and other natural features further reveal the dynamic processes that have sculpted this subterranean world, creating a dramatic and captivating environment for visitors to explore. According to the text on the wooden board, the 4 niche-like cavities in the cave wall represent the celestial residence of the 4 Buddhas. The text reads, Satan Ti Bucha Chatura Puta Piman, meaning place of worship, abode of the 4 Buddhas. Since the path to the second cave area is not only steep but also has rugged, uneven footing, we decide to return the way we came and approach the cave from the shorter route starting at ground level. This means we will have to climb up from the other side, effectively ascending for a second time rather than negotiating the rough and potentially hazardous descent. Retracing the route in reverse offers a fresh perspective. The views are different, and we notice details we had missed on the way up. Descending is, of course, far less demanding and much quicker, allowing us to take in the scenery with a more relaxed pace. We are already nearly back at the start, and the distance now seems much shorter than it did on the way up, as if the climb had made the path appear longer than it really is. The staircase leading up to Tham Thamma That, the next cave on our itinerary, rises straight ahead, but I suggest we take it easy for now and turn right to visit another site first, a location with a gentler path and a shorter walk. Here, we follow in the footsteps of King Rama V. On December 24, 1896, King Chulalongkorn travelled from Saraburi province by train to Ginkoi railway station, then continued on horseback through the forest to Ban Lao. After breakfast there, he resumed his journey and reached this site around 1 p.m. He admired the waterfall and ordered an inscription of his abbreviated royal monogram, Jo Po Ro, along with the year of his visit, 2439 Buddhist era, to be carved on a hill above the waterfall. Today, the inscription is in a difficult to access and hard to see spot, but a modern sign marks its location and helps visitors find it. It reads, The royal monogram Jo Po Ro of His Majesty King Chulalongkorn, inscribed on December 20th, Buddhist era 2439, Ratanakosin era 115, at Wat Tham Phra Phothisat, Mu 10, Thap Quang Subdistrict, Ginkoi District, Saraburi Province. We are at a dead end, so we have to turn back and retrace our steps. This time, however, we continue a little further downstream until we reach a wooden pedestrian bridge. A large warning sign forbids swimming here, as a little further downstream lies a waterfall. From here, we get a clear view of the fish swimming below, making the short detour well worth the effort. The water flows from a karst spring emerging through cracks in the limestone mountains. As it travels, it carries dissolved calcium carbonate from the limestone, which gradually precipitates and accumulates, giving the water surface its characteristic white appearance. From the bridge, we walk back to the staircase and begin our ascent to Tham Thamma That. An announcement board at the entrance states that anyone wishing to enter should contact the staff, with several telephone numbers provided for convenience. The cave's entrance is gated, and if it is locked, visitors need to request access from temple staff or a monk. In addition, the cave's electricity must be switched on for visitors, but a staff member warned us that it is unsafe to enter without a torch, as the power supply to the temple below can sometimes fail, leaving the cave in complete darkness. Tham Thamma That, part of the Phra Phothisat cave system, is composed of grey to white-grey, laminated thick beds of lime mudstone containing brachiopods and crinoids, interbedded with dark grey, laminated medium beds of chert. The cave is large, with an entrance formed by the collapse of old ceilings, which created karst windows and sinkholes. A staircase has been constructed to descend into the cave hall, which developed through the dissolution of limestone along fractures and stretches for 506.14 meters. The hall is oriented in two directions, north-south and southwest-northeast. A text written on the cave wall urges visitors to show respect for nature and to take care of the cave, reminding everyone to preserve its natural beauty and delicate formations. Most caves in Thailand are limestone caves, formed over long periods as corrosive rainwater seeped through tiny pores and cavities in the rock, gradually dissolving it. Small cavities expanded into cracks, allowing more water to enter and erode the limestone further, sometimes creating underground rivers. The flow of such subterranean rivers can carve enormous chambers, where speleothems, such as stalactites and stalagmites, eventually develop. Speleothems form when a single drop of mineral-rich water trickles from the ceiling. Each drop deposits a tiny ring of limestone, and over time, repeated deposits accumulate to create very narrow hollow tubes known as soda straws. These can grow quite long, though they remain extremely fragile. If a soda straw becomes blocked, water begins to flow along its outer surface, depositing more calcite and gradually forming cone-shaped stalactites. The drops that fall from stalactites also deposit limestone on the floor below, leading to the growth of rounded stalagmites. Over long periods, stalactites and stalagmites can meet and fuse, forming columns that extend from floor to ceiling. One of the curious features along the subterranean trail is a rock that, through the phenomenon of pareidolia, the tendency of the human mind to perceive familiar shapes in random patterns, resembles a frog. Locals have draped it with the pa prei munkan, a sacred cloth placed to sanctify the rock and generate merit. We ventured as far into the cave as we could safely go, relying only on our mobile phone torches and without proper footwear. Beyond that point, both the path and the available light were too poor to continue, so we turned back, carefully retracing our steps toward the cave entrance. Next to the modern metal staircase lie the remains of its wooden predecessor, now rotting away in a corner. On the way out, Dom points to red text we hadn't noticed on our way in. It reads, "Discovered on the 25th of March, 2513 Buddhist era," which corresponds to 1970 of the Common Era, followed by, "Do not strike, hit, or take stones. Do not scratch, write, or make a fire." Below that, a reflective message asks, "Do you think that in doing this you will find happiness? When you do, it will turn into suffering. Have you ever experienced this?" we switch off the light in a small grotto, where a Buddha statue sits in the posture of no fear, perhaps as a playful way to challenge or amuse those who feel a little apprehensive at the start of their speleological adventure. Rather than retracing the shortest route we had taken to get here, curiosity gets the better of us, and we decide to explore what lies around the corner. We begin ascending the rugged path we had initially avoided on the way down, now approaching Tham Phra Phothisat from the opposite side. While we had considered this trail too tricky to descend safely, climbing it proves less hazardous, though it remains undeniably challenging. So here we are, climbing once again, muscles straining and breath steadying as we tackle the rugged path, each step bringing us closer to the top from this new perspective. Below us, we can see the pinnacle of the Dhamma Pavilion Pagoda, the very spot where our hike began. At last, we reach the pinnacle of the path, taking in the views before soon making our way back down along the safer, more manageable route. Back at ground level, a few more spots still beckon exploration, so stay with us as we make our way toward the nearby waterfall and the temple's gleaming ordination hall at the front of the complex. The waterfall is known both as Nam Tok Jo Po Ro, named after the royal monogram of King Rama V carved at its top, and as Nam Tok Travertine. Travertine is a type of sedimentary rock formed by the rapid precipitation of calcium carbonate, typically from mineral-rich spring water. It often appears as a white, cream, or tan-colored stone and is commonly found in waterfalls, hot springs, and cave formations, where the mineral deposits gradually build up to create terraces, ledges, or layered structures. The rocky slopes seen here reflect the waterfall's name. Within the area's cave system, a karst spring emerges from cracks in the limestone mountains. The water carries dissolved calcium carbonate, and as the mineral precipitates, travertine deposits accumulate, shaping the distinctive formations we see. Quietly, at the side of the compound, stands a San Pu Ta, a large spirit shrine honoring ancestral spirits, almost unnoticed despite its size. It serves as a place for offerings to appease the spirits, particularly for those who have transgressed traditional customs or rituals. Here, 3 Buddha statues stand in distinct poses: on the left, the position of carrying the alms bowl, in the center, the position of dedicating the eyes, and on the right, the position of reflecting or thinking in retrospect. We pass by several administrative and utility buildings, all painted in pristine white, a color associated with purity and harmony. These colors echo the symbolism of the Thai national flag, in which white represents religion, blue stands for the monarchy, and red represents the nation. Phra Phothisat Tham is perhaps the most visually pleasing statue in the temple. The white Buddha is seated in a half-lotus position in a meditation pose, resting upon a golden lotus pedestal. Behind him rises a large golden body leaf, its veins echoing the shape of the Bodhi tree under which Siddhartha attained enlightenment. At the center of the leaf sits the Dhammacakka, the wheel of law, symbolizing the Dhamma. The statue's name means the Buddha of compassionate Dhamma, reflecting its calm and benevolent presence. In front, on either side, stand statues of the Naga King and Naga Queen, mythical beings part human and part serpent, both performing a wide gesture as a sign of reverence. Completing the scene are two large poom, lotus bud-shaped offerings placed prominently at the front. Lining the field in front of the Buddha on one side is a series of salar trees, traditionally associated with the Buddha's birth. Their large, round fruits give the tree the epithet cannonball tree. Salar trees are commonly planted at Thai temples, and their heavy, spherical fruits are often likened to luk nimit, the 9 cannonball-like boundary stones used to mark the sacred ground on which an ordination hall is built. These 9 cannonball-like luk nimit are buried beneath the baisema seen here. 8 are placed at the cardinal and intercardinal directions around the ubasot or ordination hall, while 1 lies beneath its center. The golden creatures flanking the entrance are Nagagarjar Singh, mythical composite beings with the head and front body of a lion, the trunk of an elephant, and the hind body of a serpent. Along the railing rest silver and gold spheres, 9 on each side, with a 10th placed at the top, forms that echo both the cannonball tree's fruit and the luk nimit marker stones. Their colors reference the traditional gold and silver offerings presented by subjects to the king as symbols of loyalty and devotion. The gable and rear wall feature a Dhammacakka flanked by 2 deer, a reference to the Buddha's first discourse, delivered at Mrigadava, the deer park at Sarnath. Here stands a small structure housing a baisema set above the luk nimit of the east, marking in cardinal direction, while the baisema on either side of it correspond to the intercardinal directions. With the final areas visited, we conclude our walk and head back to our car. The wind is still blowing strongly, and the Thai Buddhist flag at the entrance gate is almost torn from its pole. Above us, the trees sway in the gusts, as if waving us goodbye. And goodbye it is. For now, because we will be back, as this area still has so much left to explore.